We're playing Mono Blue Selective Memory. Now, this is a deck that did well at one of the big European tournaments over the weekend. Mingu played that build of it. Also, let me actually, again, I've had this build ready to go for 3 or 4 days now. We just haven't gotten to it because the other decks we've been playing have been pretty exciting. Oh, did I not? I guess I didn't Mana Traders this deck yet. Sorry. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the build that did well at the Four Seasons. What's funny is we'd actually been talking about this list a little bit before. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Something weird happened. Oh, you know what? You know what looks like happened? It looks like I did Mana Traders it, but I didn't Control A. I just grabbed one of each card or something. Look, I have one of each card in the deck. Oh no, this is gonna be a pain. Because I have to go like. Sorry about this. I'm just gonna of all the fours here. I'm gonna remove one from my Mana Traders request, and then see if that works. But the list that did well, I thought that it looked pretty interesting. The idea is that you have both Selective Memory and Goblin Charbelcher in this mono blue MDFC shell, where Selective Memory is going to allow you to set up for a Thassa's Oracle next turn, or you can just Goblin Charbelcher win the game. And you get to play a lot more untapped MDFCs than you used to because of MH3. Now, I thought that the way the deck was built from the European tournament had like low card quality. It was also not playing all of the right MDFCs. So I'm going to pull up Mingu's tweet here. So this was the list that he played. I'm not sure exactly if we could find the player who did it. I love to shout them out, but it's just like kind of simply put, I think that Giga Drowse, Disrupting Shoal, I think Jace is worse than more copies of Oracle. I think the Harbinger of the Seas are not right in the main deck. I don't like these. I think Snapback is pretty garbage. This card is just so bad. I just there's a lot of things about this list I really didn't like. A lot of things about this list I really didn't like. One thing too is like, one big thing also is like the Force of Negation. Force of Negation is obviously a fine card. Flare of Denial I think is so clearly a much better free counterspell for this archetype. Where Flare of Denial is a free counterspell that protects your combo. It's a spell that you can cast on your turn. And so if you're playing Augur of Bolas, Thundertrap Trainer, which have a lot of hits in this deck, by the way, if you're playing these cards, you have this proactive counterspell that allows you to play through your opponent's counterspells on your 4-mana spells. I feel like this is just such a big deal. And I think it was kind of a miss on this shell to play it. Also, this deck was playing Be In Veil, which is like a land that taps for just blue and gives things -2/-0. I was also playing Waterlog Teachings, which Teachings are weird because they only search for instants. So you're like grabbing Snapback, Shoal, Sing. It's just like it's gonna be very slow and clunky. But I think the better option here is Rush of Inspiration. This is draw 2, discard a card, basically. Which I think that card selection is better than the other options, kind of simply put. And then also like one thing that the Four Seasons deck wasn't doing is. And sorry, hold on. Mana Traders is being very weird right now. It just wasn't playing Counterspell. I think Counterspell is like an awesome deck to play, a card in this deck. I think Spell Snare is also a really good option too. Original Brewers Verb, thank you. Shout out to Verb, very sweet list. We were talking a little bit about this. I don't know. So it's a little bit for info. All understood, thanks. I click rent, and then it's just not the rent is just not happening. So, well, hold on. I'll try to figure this out. Teachings to Pitch to Shoal, 4x countering, niche baby. So I don't know. I think that like the Waterlog Teachings is really slow, clunky, not that powerful. It is a 4-drop to Pitch to Shoal. Shoal, I don't love Shoal. I don't really think Shoal is that good. I could be wrong about Shoal. But it's like it's never been a card I've liked that much. Obviously, it's much better here than anywhere else. I do appreciate them trying to play different styles. Tino with the Twitch Prime, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I don't think I missed any sub. Yeah, I might have to message customer service, which is a little bit that $1,000 anonymous donation already. That is incredible. Was it my mom who subscribed earlier? It might have been, honestly. But we'll respect the anonymity there. That is fast. Okay, well, We've been live for about 9 minutes, and we are now committed to one Dark Souls no-hit stream, Halloween costume for Lucy, and redoing the YouTube video. I may be going beardless on stream today. I don't know what to say. Yeah, but if you missed it, we were attempting to no-hit Dark Souls on stream for a long time. This was a long process. We got close. We did it with only one hit. We failed, but if we can, I haven't come back. We qualified for the Pro Tour, so I had to kind of put it off. So we ended up putting it off for a really extended period of time. But now we are going to be circling back to it. Give it a couple goes. I'll do some practice off stream too. Yeah, Four Kings was a big nightmare for sure. Ornstein and Smo was like, it was such RNG. It was pretty tough. What does the 5K goal imply? I'll just like, I'll put out like a YouTube short saying the One Ring should be banned in Modern. It's not really something I really believe in right now, but it's more of an inside joke, if anything. It's just something people have been really obnoxious about for a while, so I'll just, I'll support your side is what I'm trying to say. Paid actor. So my Thundertrap Trainer is resolving. Second Shoal's looking kind of interesting. I do have 2 more lands in my hand. I think I'm just going to take that instead of another land here. And then, I have 3 more lands in my hand. Sometimes it's hard to keep track. We'll just put one of these tapped. Is the tip page not working for anyone else? Well, if you type ! Donate. It worked for me this morning. I also donated this morning. All right, take that. Okay, let's go ahead and Disrupting Shoal a Psychic Frog. I think we're pitching, that just has to be the Trainer or the second Shoal. All right, Re-Ithered. Looks like we got the first deck tech of the stream. If you want to go ahead and paste that in the chat, we can go ahead and take a look. So my opponent is fighting over the frog here. But it looks like we are going to be able to resolve a Goblin Charbelcher, and we'll be able to do it through a Force of Negation because we have the Shoal. And we can also Shoal a Sink into the Stupor too, so this should be pretty game over. All right, first deck tech. First paid deck tech since I think we stopped doing them like right before MH2. Yeah, F cancer indeed. I've got a good friend who's been struggling with cancer for like 10 years now. She's fighting strong. Okay, so this is Mono Blue Affinity. This is something that kind of similar to the build that we played against Crusher in that Modern Challenge we top 8'd a few weeks ago. Pretty interesting numbers here. I actually really like the decision to play less than 4 copies of Kappa Cannoneer. I think Kappa Cannoneer is a card that like you really don't want to have 2 copies of it in your opening hand basically ever. If that's the case, less than 4 I think makes a lot of sense. That being said, I think you can play 4 copies if you also have Force of Negation in your main deck, which is something I would really be interested in doing here. Force of Negation in the main deck would make you a lot more resilient to Wrath the Skies. I see you have Metallic Rebuke. I'm not a big fan of this card, but I think some copies of Force in the main deck would not only help you in those matchups, but in a variety of combo matchups that you struggle with. Now, I also think if you're going to play Tamiyo, and I think Tamiyo is pretty good, Thoughtcast is a card I'd be pretty interested in, where Thoughtcast is something that you can like both flip Tamiyo with really quickly and also recur with Tamiyo. Like something like Tamiyo is a lot worse if you don't have stuff to recur with it. I would probably cut all of the synthesizers if I'm going to be quite honest. I think this card is kind of slow and kind of clunky. I could be wrong about this since I haven't been playing. We're also just going to run this matchup back. I would likely cut all the synthesizers. I think this card is just not very good. I would likely cut the Nettlecyst. I think that card is not very good either. I would likely cut the Metamorph. I don't think I like Abstergo Entertainment. I would be playing more copies of Sink into the Stupor, I'd be like -1 island, -1 entertainment, plus at least 2 sinks. Maybe just play 3 islands. That's probably a good number for the sinks. So we're gonna go -1, -2, plus 3 sinks. The opportunity cost is just so easy to include. Cut the Nettle Cyst, cut the Simulacrums, cut the Metamorph, I would think. So that's 5 cards. The Hayward might, I guess with the drums, it's pretty doable. I don't know about these Frogmites either. If you're gonna cut the synthesizers, I think I'm probably gonna even recommend cutting the Frogmites and then play 4th Tamio, 4 Force of Negation in the main deck, potentially a 3rd Kappa Cannoneer. You have a few extra slots. You might want to play like 2 Talismans so that you can like ramp into the ring more aggressively. It could be kind of interesting. Something I do kind of intend on working on too. With Tamio and Neeline, yeah, and Limmery Mox Ember. Yeah, that could be good. You could play Emery over Frogmite, and then you could potentially even like just play 1 Springleaf Drum for Mox Amber. Let this make your other zeros worse. I mean, this deck is definitely a hard archetype to build. Thank you, Ekil. Thank you for the raid. Hope that your portion of the stream went well. We're just getting started over here. Don't forget Thoughtcast. Yeah, the Thoughtcast too. I know it's a very tough deck to build. Very tough deck to build. So maybe you're going cut the Frogmites, cut the synthesizers, cut the Metamorph. You know, I've gone down this road too. Honestly, if you cut the ring, it's kind of interesting. Like you still have a ton of card advantage with like Thoughtcast, Thought Monitor, Tamio, Urza Saga, Kappa Cannoneer, all big top end cards. I wonder if like the ring is like kind of like the weak link there. I don't know if that is the case, but it's something I've wondered. Probably want to keep the Seagate Restoration in our hand so that if we can Disrupting Shoal a Murktide Regent. Also, Shoal has immediately been super duper impressive for whatever that's worth. Do we want a second copy here? I mean, it just seems like so incredible. This deck is looking really nice. So, okay. Let's go. Final answer. Minus the synthesizers, minus the Frogmites, minus the Metamorph, minus the analysis. So that's 4, 5. Sorry. 4, 5, 9. Plus 1 Kappa Cannoneer. Plus 4 Thoughtcasts. Plus 4 Force of Negations. I think that's where I would start. Okay. Kazar with the 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. It looks like we had another one from Sean. Sean, if you want to post your deck tech, we can get going that too. From Hater to Deliver Shoal. Yeah, I mean, Shoal is obviously such a weird card to evaluate since it is a very different card in this deck from, every other Shoal deck ever. Okay, so I can bolt in Seagate Restoration to have Sink into the Stupor up. I think I would rather just play this tapped, and then I have Shoal available for a Murktide Regent, although I don't even know if I'm Shoaling a Murktide Regent, I guess. Maybe I should have left the 2 in my hand to pitch to Shoal. Okay, don't care about that. I play 2 leagues of this deck. Feels like 1 or 2 flusters the board. Feels right for the consigns. That's kind of interesting. It seems like some good tech against them. No need for deck tech. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate your contribution. That's okay, Tino. Just being here is enough. Sorry to hear about your mom. Okay, well, good news here. My opponent's tapping out, and I can Shoal a Force of Negation again. So, I mean, at least against Dimir, Shoal seems to be immediately just incredible. Liberty Sandwich with the 9 months. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Two cards in their hand. Now, what they would need is like a Pithing Needle or a Sink into the Stupor to bounce the Belcher. All right. Well, that was I'll say this, like Dimir Murktide, like as an archetype in Modern, it's like primary purpose is kind of to punish these spell-based combo decks. And the fact that like this deck, Woodland seems to have a pretty good strategy against them. Oh, sorry. I guess did I not update the donate command? Okay, sorry. Okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I hadn't updated the donate command. I see like a million donates in the chat. I apologize for that. Let me go ahead and update update that. I shared it on Twitter. Okay. I just forget the G in campaign. Sorry about that. Okay. There it is. The donate link should work now. Casual streamer here. Liberty Sandwich for the 6 months. Appreciate you. All right. Easy keep. You always have to take a moment on these with this the deck with all the MDFCs. Make sure this works. Donate. Okay, that is. So it looks like for some reason maybe donate is. Okay, so there's a stream elements. Can we maybe disable if a mod can figure out a way to disable the stream element link instead of just and have it just show up the ACL link? That would be really helpful. Any rules of deck tech? Would I look up at commander list? So I would look at commander list. Yeah. Thank you, Claymore, for the donation, $15. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I would look at them. I would not be able to contribute a ton, probably, but I've played some commander in my life. I have a couple of decks. And then there's one from Red No Loss, $20. If you want to post your deck tech in chat, assuming that's what it's for, happy to take a look. Preordain, 0 on the top, 2 on the bottom. 2 on the top, 0 on the bottom. Oop. So my opponent could go off this next turn. That being said, I think because we have 8 0 mana counterspells and they're not that likely to go off this turn, it's probably an okay spot for me to. I'm just taking the untapped land. I think it's an okay spot for me to tap out for Trainer. Not that we did find the 0 mana counterspell. Could die next turn. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Twin Storm matchup seems to be getting a little bit more popular. All right, this is Jeskai Scam from Red No Loss. Magic Online has been pretty laggy lately. Ooh. Okay, so you're leaning in on the Flage, Null Drifter, Dress Down synergies here. Now I've been thinking. Oh, you also have 4 consigns because I was about to say I've been thinking about this kind of shell, and I would wonder if I would be more in on consign or Dress Down. My initial thought is you have way too many scam effects. For you're effectively mostly scamming Null Drifter Flage, although you could also sometimes consign your Solitude trigger. So I'm kind of surprised you only have 2 Solitudes. You should never have Path to Exile in your modern deck. You should play the 4th Prismatic Ending. You should play the 3rd Solitude. You should never have Path to Exile in your modern deck, in my opinion. It does look like we're getting killed here. I would not play Dull Creeper Thrall, especially not in your Supreme Verdict deck. I would just never include this one. But I think this is just too much. I would play probably 3 consigns and then 2 dress downs, and that is going to have you not have just a million effects of these in your hands. And you have so much redundancy. And the thing is, Null Drifter and Flage, scamming them is pretty good, right? But they're also just fine to cast. These cards are also just fine to cast. You don't need to play 9 of these effects. I would play probably 5. Remember Grief Scam? Grief Scam did not play 9 scam effects. So that was, it's kind of better to scam Grief, right? And Consigns is pretty good in the main deck for the most part, or pretty reasonable. I'd play 3 Consigns, 2 Dress Downs probably. I understand that Dress Down lets you do the turn 3 thing more often, but your control deck, you can take your time, and Consign being 1 mana is something I like a bit more. Could be wrong, maybe 3-2 in favor of Dress Down is better, but that's at least where I'd start. I'd cut the path for another Prismatic Ending potentially. But your deck really opens up a lot when you add these 4 cards. You can play a lot more interactive spells. You could play Wrath Disguise in your deck. At that point, you would have room to play a package of Tune the Narrative Wrath Disguise. Oh, we didn't die. That's great. Now, our chances to win still seem pretty low. I think I'm going to leave up Counterspell and pass the turn. Yeah, but at that point, I would play a package of Tune the Narrative, Wrath Disguise, kind of over those slots. And then you're just kind of a more normal Jeskai deck with these options. As far as the sideboard goes, I would not play the first Ceremonious Rejection over the fourth Obsidian Charmaw. I would never ever ever have any copies of Path to Exile in any modern deck ever. There's just no reason. There's just way better white removal in modern these days. I don't like these. I would play Wear Tear probably over March of Otherworldly Light, because mostly that card is in modern for me to get rid of Urza Saga. I think Wear Tear would be better, unless I'm missing something. But also Wrath Disguise is better at that too, so I probably just wouldn't bother. Alright, Dupe the Frog with 9 months, Owls the 15, thank you so much. Let's go to game 2 over here. Okay, so that was for Red No Loss. We got a anonymous $25. Ryan the Mind 50. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Good job, gang. Okay, so we're gonna bring in Force of Negation and Consign, and also Harbinger of the Seas. I guess, do I want 4 Consigns? Consign counters the One Ring, which is really important card for them. I think I'm maybe just gonna play 3. And then we did this last time too. We just boarded out the Jace, boarded out the Oracles, boarded out the Memories. And we still have Charbelcher as a card that could win us the game. It is pretty weak to Consign, but unlike Selective Memory, it's not like we exile our whole deck when we do it. And we're just mostly like a Harbinger of the Seas win condition deck. In fact, I wonder, like, maybe I'm just supposed to board out the Charbelchers. Like, just like Harbinger of the Seas is like kind of an impossible card for them to beat. And then if the rest of my deck is just like Counterspells and like 1/3s, that might just be the best plan. I think that might be the plan I'm going to employ here. I guess these Lotus Blooms get kind of bad if that's the case. I must just want to play a Jace. This is like a value card. Yeah, okay, let's trade this. Weird sideboarding. Dupe with the 9, Else with the 15. Thank y'all. Anonymous with $100 dono. Okay, my beard may be gone. I did run it by Esther ahead of time. She asked, "Can you dye your hair instead?" I said no. Since my hair has been a long project we're working on. I really just don't want to mess with it. But we did get the okay from Esther. Isn't 4 of each just great in the meta while scamming? No, that's what I was trying to say. I don't think 4 Dress Down is good in the meta. I don't think 4 Consign in the main deck is good in the meta. Obviously, they're relevant in some matchups, but I just way too much. Let's take the Flare over the Force. Does this mean we're doing Image 3 tier list? Yes, we hit that within like 5 minutes of the stream. And very soon we're gonna get that second Dark Souls stream attempt. I think in the next 3.5 hours of the stream we'll hit $50 more. Yeah, Nadu's still C tier. I think in the final version I had it B, which is very funny. But I didn't really piece together the Springheart Nantuko thing. We'll save it for the video. But for me, like, I thought the card quality of Nadu combo was gonna be really low. How aggressively do you mull for Lotus Bloom in the blind game was? Not that aggressively. This deck plays a lot of permission and a lot of card selection, so you can definitely afford to play a slower game plan. But it's always nice to have in your opening hand. In fact, I would probably mull more aggressively for it if I felt like I needed to be really fast in a matchup. With all our counter magic, I don't think that's going to be the case that often. How to board against Titan? I'm not sure. I'm bringing in the Harbingers and the Consigns, and then when I'm bringing in Harbingers, I'm usually like cutting parts of the combo. Is one thing. It's like if I'm going to bring in Harbingers in this matchup and against Titan, I'm kind of viewing these as like almost 3 mana win the game. Not exactly, but it's raising the curve a lot, so I kind of want to trim. We're probably also cutting the Shoals in that matchup. So something along those lines. Need to still like hammer that out, I guess. Also, Harbinger makes these come into play untapped. I'm just going to play a second copy here. Then we have Consign up for the ring next turn, plus Flare. But I'm becoming a real believer in this deck. Especially now that like we have gotten the feedback that Shoal is really mandatory. Wasn't sure. Shoal was like Shoal. I'm immediately sold on it after giving it a go. Okay, opponent's at 14. I know the overlay is kind of going over the life total bit. Okay, opponent concedes. I'm gonna go ahead and click submit. How much to shave my head? 20,000. I really don't want to shave my head. I'll do it for 20,000, but actually I take it back. I don't know. I don't want to shave my head. I have spent like a year and a half growing this out. If y'all want to raise 20,000 out of the goodness of your heart, I take it back. We'll do the beard. I've spent nearly 2 years growing this hair out. No number, not on the table. Not on the table for today. $20K bits. Not on the table. Not on the table. We didn't get Esther approval. Is Jace overlapping because it's a better card? It is better because it wins the game immediately instead of you needing a additional spell. I'm going to keep this one. And it's also it's mostly in the deck to beat Consign on Thassa's Oracle trigger. Is transform to sideboard a thing with the decks? Throw some lords in. I'll just turn its board into Merfolk. Maybe. All right, 2 on the bottom with Preordain. Don't need to hold up the Consign. Do you ever board out the Flare Denials, Augurs, Otters? I've cut 1, 2 here. I don't think so. I think they're just kind of good against everything is like my attitude at the moment, so I don't really feel like I'm wanting to cut them very often. I hope we can draw land number 3. What about dying? How about this? Let's get to 10,000, and then we can maybe discuss adding some extra incentives. I think I'm going to try to wait on the Harbinger cast. Because it would be really nice if I can get my opponent to play out a Lotus Field and then like be -2 mana. They're just cycling a Vizier end of turn. Professor Bojangles, the 23 months. Thank you, welcome back. Can we put the record tracker in the bottom left? Yes. Jackload with the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Getting some Magic Online lag too. Thank you, Pinta. Thank you for sharing. Dave with the $50. Thank you so much. Let's go. Thank you, Dade. Opponent missing their land drop here. Kind of hoping I draw my land. 2 draw land. So let's go and wait a turn because I really want to keep Consign up for the ring. I really don't want to go like play Harbinger and then have to flare. Also, again, if they just happen to play a Lotus Field turn, this turn would be good, but it seems a little bit unrealistic with them having missed their land drop. Although it kind of seems like they were maybe sandbagging this Otawara. Yeah, maybe 1 more turn. Just wait till we don't have a land to play. So I think they're trying to get a Lotus Field here. So I think I should just let this resolve because I want them to play a Lotus Field. It's gonna be a fight over Harbinger. Maybe, I don't know. Like they play, I don't think they play a lot of counter spells that can actually counter Harbinger. Is the thing. Yeah, we could be nice and consign their Lotus Field trigger for them. If that wasn't the window to play Harbinger, what is? This turn, after my opponent has sacrificed 2 lands to their Lotus Field. We want that, we want the Lotus Field to trigger. I'm not even sure that they're gonna, how often they can have a good answer to this either. I'll just play a second one. Consign shoal up. Guess technically flare. All right. Seems like we maybe figured out that sideboard plan after yesterday. Pin Grandpa. 2 lands. I'm going to keep this one. I mean, this deck is very good at hitting lands with all the Augurs and Otters. We have Counterspell up on turn 2. We have Selective Memory. We have Shoal. I think this is going to be a keep. I don't think I've played any deck that has me, like, just taking so long to figure out what the hand is doing, though. The MDFCs just kind of break my brain. How often would you say you win with Belcher versus Thoracle? It seems like you win with Belcher a little bit more often, but it's not super clear. Simon, thank you for the $10. My Swedish friend. So we're up against Frog again. We crushed them last time with Shoal, but if we're going to be missing land drops, it's going to be kind of a hard time. If they cast a Preordain next turn, I'm going to counterspell it. Graveyarding an island. I want to Thoracle more often. Memory, Amoto is a plane. Yeah, it is a pain. For me, it's just been more Belcher wins, but, you know, my sample size isn't super big. Okay, love to hit land number 3 here. Shoal seems like so incredible in this matchup. It's just like you just get to play like Force of Will against the Counterspell deck. Pretty dang unique. I mean, Bowmaster is not very effective against me. But I think I just, with 3 counterspells in my hand, I just need to trade these sometimes. Okay, that's like Bloomsday? Maybe. I kind of like it. It's opposite day of the 25. Thank you so much. If you want a deck tech, it's yours. If you just want to donate, I also appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. All right, do a flare, another flare. Why is this deck only playing 2 Preordain? I kind of simply put, the Otters of Bolas and the Augurs of Bolas are both kind of providing similar levels of card selection that Preordain does, but they're better because they dig for more cards, and they're better because they sack to flare and they block. And so I don't know that we need to have 12 cantrips. You could play more Preordains. All right, now I am thinking about cutting the 24th land for the 3rd Preordain. It would be like -1 Waterlog Grove. It's possible you could go -2 lands for 2 more Preordains. But it's like I kind of realized when I was, you know, we played a little bit of the deck yesterday, and I am like rethinking about the deck and like understanding that the Otters and Augurs are they're just incredible card selection tools because all your lands are MDFCs. But definitely kind of a weird dynamic. All right, deck tech for opposite day. Team or Omniscience. Cool. So hopefully this is a Shifting Woodlands. Yeah, I don't know if it was you, but someone did suggest Ill-Timed Explosion in the archetype, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I will say I don't really understand Fae of Wishes over Karn very much. One, like, oh, look at our sideboard. It is ugly. But it's like the thing about Karn is Karn like shuts off Graveyard Hate, which is great. It's like a way better plan B if your opponent plays lock pieces. It's just kind of a more powerful card in general. And the upside to Fae of Wishes seems to be that you can traverse for something that is always a win instead of being able to traverse for a Gristlebrand. But Gristlebrand is really only not a win if your opponent is... I'm going to go ahead and counter this. I think I want to use Counterspell so that I have a 3 and a 2 for Shoal. But I kind of want them to tap out next turn anyways. I kind of want to trade resources here, not let them get too many cards in hand. So yeah, I don't think I like that so much. Fast and Furious also seems like really low card quality. Float Sam, Jet Sam seems like low card quality just to have 2 types in the yard. I don't think I like playing like these split cards. I don't think I would. I do like Ill-Timed Explosion. I do like Prismari Command. I would be kind of more interested in that. Also, I think that you just don't have enough discard outlets. Maybe I guess you have yeah, I guess you do. You've added Fast Furious and Flow some Jet Sam. But for me, Prismari Command just seems like much higher card quality than these cards. While also like the fact that Prismari Command kills artifact based Graveyard Hate seems great. Don't think I like this Archdruid's Charm either. I mean, I do love that card, but I don't think I would play it. Alright, so we're gonna start jamming here. Definitely, I think we should go for the Belcher first, just because it's a little less all in. And then my opponent has had a few opportunities to use a Spell Pierce, and then has chosen not to, so I'm going to go ahead and shoal. And then see if this resolves. Does resolve. We'll see if they have a sink into the Stupor. Yeah, so I would cut all the split cards. I would play... I would play Karn over Fave Wishes and just do the sideboard I've been doing. I would also I think you want to have the I guess so. One thing about Fable is like its enchantment type doesn't matter so much because Omniscience is your enchantment when you're going off. All right, I guess we're gonna upkeep activate. I also think I think Cash Grab is better than Seed of Hope at the moment. So if you're gonna play only one, you should play 4 Cash Grab, 0 Seed of Hope. Karn over Fave Wishes, more Prismari. I do like the idea of splashing for Prismari Command. I guess is kind of the short answer here. I don't like Turtle. Turtle isn't very playable, I think. Alright, I think those are my thoughts. Thank you, Opposite Day. Wait, hold on. Did I miss Blitz with the $500? Thank you, Blitz, with the $500 dono. That's so generous. I wish I was more like emotive. I wish I was a better streamer. I wish I could just summon immediately the let's go $500 from Blitz for charity. Let's go. We hit the $2,000 goal. 3rd Dark Soul stream locked in. But it's hard for me to summon that. It's hard for me to just awaken that. I really have to build it up. But I do. This is awesome. Y'all are sick. Y'all are moving me today. We'll say. It takes some time to build up. You did? I just maybe missed that it was 500 earlier. It's hard for me to summon the content creator voice. That's annoying. I know it's annoying, but when someone donates $500 for charity, it's worth the streamer voice, It's worth awakening that inside of me. 47 minutes in, already up to $2,000. Let's go. I was really unsure what dollar sign to price these. Obviously, these are just for fun. Obviously, the most important thing is raising money for a good cause. Forsaken Bacon, 11 months. Thank you so much. We need more goals. Yeah, I mean, I was brainstorming for a while. We'll see. Can we get Esther come in? Esther is at Costco at the moment. Maybe if she gets back in time, she could do the streamer voice. Vindicate, 51 months. Thank you. Welcome back. She'll probably pop in later. I don't think she's going to be out too long. Island Preordain. Oh, that's a nice top deck there. It's the goal for y'all to switch to Costco to Sam's. We use her mom's membership for Sam's Club. Lol, bro, with the $50. Let's go. Ticking up fast. I may be beardless for the first time in like 5 years. I will say, so when I shaved my beard 5 years ago, it was pretty early into Esther and I's relationship. I had a much more baby face back then. I looked so young. I do wonder maybe it is time to be beardless. Oh, is that with the 14 months? Maybe 10k to dye your beard, 15k to shave it. Well, I don't I don't have dye on me, I would want to do the shaving now. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. I still kind of think that 10k is probably not very likely to happen. For whatever that's worth. All right, getting snared. So this Bloom is coming down in 2 turns, which means my opponent is free to tap out for this Murktide Regent here. Now, us having the Oracle in hand does make the Selective Memory a bit more potent than it usually would be. Although I think because I've drawn Flare, I should be playing this out so that I have a creature to sack to Flare, which is kind of odd. Let's say no to both of these. I would like to find potentially an untapped land to resolve the Belcher. Take 6, and then Belcher them. Another 50 bucks from Opposite Day. Let's go. Thank you so much. Wearing contacts for a month of streaming seems like a modest goal. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, to some extent, there's only so much. You know, it's like I've never worn contacts in my life. I don't know that I can commit to it. I've tried one time to wear Sharingan contacts for a Naruto Halloween costume, and they didn't work. You know, I only wanted to commit to stuff I was happy to commit to. Yeah, lag has been bad today. Maybe it's like the Saturday challenges. It's been like worse this week in general. Chin with the 20 bucks. That's for Deck Tech. Going to post in chat. Excited for that. Down to 11. Gonna revisit Red Green Energy Run a show. I am. I think that there is something there. I think that I'm excited to see if we can strike a different balance. Try to see if we can find a better way to approach it. But it did seem like there was something there. Maybe splash a third color, although it did seem like the Blood Moons were pretty important. Yeah, it could have just been that the contacts were low quality. We'll see. All right, so Lotus Bloom coming down. Now, it does seem like there's a good chance my opponent has 2 counterspells up. An untapped land would be really nice so that we can try to have counterspell up. Did I play the Convoke red-green deck? How did it perform? Looked sick. Did I play the Convoke red-green deck? Oh yeah, we did. It did look. Yeah, we did play that. I agree that it looked sick. In practice, it was a little bit inconsistent, a little bit fragile. Right, let me go ahead and flare this. So we'll get to the deck tech. So this is Jeskai Energy. I will say the first Goblin Bombardment definitely mandatory right now. I think I would really want to play the second copy. I'm also still a big Ragavan hater. I just kind of like I don't know that I think Ragavan is like good in the main deck of Modern right now, but it could be. I would probably not play 3 copies of Ragavan. I think I would be very, very likely cutting all of these, playing the second copy of Goblin Bombardment, and then playing more copies of Static Prison. And I really like that Static Prison can interact with cards like Amulet of Vigor. Okay, I guess we have to draw now. Sink into the Stupor to have a chance. All those who have Game 3 on the play. Amulet of Vigor, the One Ring. For me, I'm really into playing 4 Static Prisons to interact with some of these otherwise difficult like combo cards. I do like getting Lightning Bolts to be a bit more aggressive, but I would probably play 4 Static Prisons. I think 3 is fine, but I think cutting all the Ragavans, playing a split of like 4 Prison, 2 Bombardment, 4 Discharge, 1 Bolt is probably where I would be in the main deck. As far as the sideboard goes, playing Consign in the board is pretty interesting in your Amped Raptor deck. I do think you can just kind of afford to have some bricks, and Consign is certainly a really powerful option. That being said, I really liked White Orchid Phantom, not only because it's a good hit off Amped Raptor, because it was good to copy with Ocelot Pride, and also when I was playing Phantasma Image, good to copy with that. And so I kind of would like to see you maybe lean more into that. Maybe Meddling Mage is a good option, but I think it's mostly only good against like Titan and Living End. But it is kind of cool that you can copy them. Okay, game 3. So I like at the moment I don't think I'd be on Consign, but if you think Consigns are good, I do encourage you to test them. I like the Surgicals. I think I like at least 2 Sun Cleansers. That looks pretty good. I want the Static Prison in the main deck, which opens up the sideboard slot. I think I would rather you see not playing Deafening Silence and playing at least 3 Damping Spheres, maybe just 4, because Titan is just kind of like back. Titan is just kind of popular, and the fact that Damping Sphere is like very good against Storm and very good against Titan, and you can bring in like 1 copy against like some of the Tron variants, 2 copies, I think makes it a pretty good option. So I would like to see you play more copies of that. I'd like to see the 4th copy of White Orchid Phantom, and I'd like to see like a deeper dive into other Hate Bears, because they're just like potentially so good with the Mockingbird tech. But I'm a little bit less sure on exactly how to do that. Okay, let's keep this hand. Beautiful hand. And then, yeah, I think we're just going to play the Silundi Vision tapped. Preordain next turn, still underneath the Bowmaster. Sure, Simon, sure. All right, taking down the Lotus Bloom. Down to 2. Play Boris with Charmal, but it's much better because Raptor and Mockingbird. Yeah. Yeah, I think Phantasm are the way to go. Right, down to 2. Ticks down. Kind of nice to draw a tap land so we can save the untap land for later. NRW, unfortunately, the 20 bucks have gone to the wrong place. Hold on, just give me a second here. Okay, I think I'm gonna bottom second shoal. I'm gonna keep the augur. The donations need to go to the charity link. That one went to me. I know it's gonna be a little confusing. For some reason, maybe I can disable the stream element spot, or if we can get a mod, maybe I can just unmod stream elements and then see if that works. And then let's see if that unlinks it. Okay, if a mod can figure out how to remove the stream elements, if it's something I need to do, let me go. And how about this? I will go ahead and donate 20 more bucks myself to contribute for that there. And then Binny with the 20 also. If you want to do a deck tech, you can post in the chat. Let's go to turn 2 Frog. Frog is pretty scary. But I think I just really need the Shoal to be like an offensive counterspell next turn. It's just such a premium. And then I also have the Augur to like maybe chump the Frog. Maybe Augur finds me a Flare of Denial, and I could just have potentially double offensive counterspell against them, which would be such a big deal. Find a Silundi Vision, so I'm going to go ahead and I think just grab that and play it here. Okay, again, sorry about that. Anonymous with 20 bucks, NRW with the 20, Benny with the 20. All right. Thank you, Simon. That that works. Okay, I see Benny's deck tech. If I miss some of y'all, just keep coming at me. Okay, so it looks like Mono Green Devotion variant. Playing Magus of the Candelabra. Now, this is a card I don't believe in so much. I think it could be, it's something that's been suggested in combination with Utopia Sprawl, Overgrowth, Nykthos. Oh, but you're just straight up not playing Nykthos. It's kind of interesting. I guess that maybe makes a lot of sense. I'll say this: I have no idea if Magus is good. I have an inclination that it likely isn't. It is probably worth testing. Let's go ahead and here though, see if we can resolve this Lotus Bloom. I think it seems like they have a consign. Sean with the 41 months. Thank you. Welcome back. At the very least, 4 seems like too many. I would probably start off testing 3. I would play like the 3rd Garrick. Maybe more than 3 Garricks if Kiora doesn't have that many card draws. So you have card draw off Worldbreaker, 1 Null Drifter, and the Levelers. I think I hate this Null Drifter. I hate that you have a Breeding Pool and a Hedge Mage for exactly 1 copy of Null Drifter. I would just get it out of here. Have 10 big things to imprint. Cut the 4th Disciple, play 4 Garricks, 3 Kioras, probably. Maybe 4 Kioras because it untaps the ring. Let's do 4 Kiora, 3 Garrick because it untaps the ring. And then start there. Disciple of Freylease is also a weird one. Okay, good to draw 2 for the Shoal. Now, my opponent seems like they have... It seems like they have Consign available. I don't love going for memory. It lets them just like beat me so hard with the I think the memory is somehow worse against the Consign than the Belcher, if that makes sense. Alright, I think that's what I would do for the mono green deck. I think it looks awesome also. I encourage you to keep working on it. Okay, then we have Amped Raptor combo with every companion. Okay, hold on. Okay, then Simon's deck tech is also, sorry, there's Chrome is lagging and Magic Online is lagging. This is the funniest deck I've ever seen. 8 companion, Thassa's Oracle, Amped Raptor. This is the funniest deck I've ever seen. I would not change a thing. I would go to F&M and brag every day. That is it is incredible. Okay, so Jeskai Consign. We did a deck tech very similar for this just like a moment ago. Okay, so they're replicating a Consign to memory here. Looks like I'm just gonna have to let this go for now. Don't play Remand, play Counterspell. You're silly. You also need to play some Tune the Narratives in your Wrath of Skies deck. You need to have like at least two. You need to have at least two. So I want to see you probably go -2 force, -1 Force of Negation, -1 Flage. Yeah, -1 Force of Negation, -1 Flage. Play two tunes. You can also just play two Consigns. Yeah, you need to have at least two tunes in your Wrath of Skies, Galvanic Discharge, Jeskai deck. You should play two blue Triumphs, so it should be Grixis, Savai. I would just not. I would think I was playing the second basic planes. I don't think the second basic planes is that important. It could be a bit more important than I realized. But I just wasn't playing it last time I played the archetype. I do like the Damping Spheres. Titan is kind of back. I don't like the Aether Gust that much. I'd probably play second Wear Tear over the Aether Gust. Yeah, but I just play Grixis Triumph, Counterspell over Remand, two tunes. Found the mana was a lot better with two white Triumphs and Remand. I mean, the mana is better, but the card quality is worse, is the problem. Counterspell is just is a much, much better card. Well, probably going to lose if they have two Counterspells here. Maybe you won't be 2-0 against Steamer. And another deck tech for no beats. Then another Counterspell for our opponent. It's going to go to match number 4 here. Yeah, Reprieve would be better than I guess you have Force of Negation. Alright, deck tech. Alright, I don't know what this card does. Whenever you cast your first instant spell each turn, if this is tapped, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Whenever you copy a spell, put a counter on it. Okay, do you have Springleaf Drum? There it is. So you have the Relic, Springleaf Drum, Paradise Mantle, Shikaku to tap it. Let me see if I can think of any other good ones off the top of my head. No, I'm going to keep this hand. It's a lot of creatures. Kind of a surprising number of creatures. Driven by someone, 8 months, they can welcome back. Ooh, vehicles. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah. I don't know, like, how playable cards like Smuggler's Copter or the Omen, whatever, are. But there's got to be some, like, sick, like, EDH-only vehicles out there, right? I would be remiss if we couldn't find something juicy. I would do that. I feel like I would cut a lot of these creatures. Like, it seems like Titan of Industry, Vaultborn, Tyrant, Title's Tracker, Provisioner, Storm Chase. I mean, maybe this card's just an EDH staple. Oh, sorry. I know this was Volatile Drake. This card seems good in your deck. Apprentice seems good. Priest Cursor Golem. All these seem just kind of weird, but maybe, like... Maybe I'm missing something. Is Nexus of Fate banned? Is it frowned on? Surely Nexus of Fate isn't banned in Commander. But that seems like a good one to copy. I guess I'm going to pitch the Oracle instead of the Jace. This is going to be a fun matchup. Ooh, Orvar seems good too. Very fun. Do I want a second Disrupting Shoal? Do I want... I think I want Belcher. Alright, 2 0-mana counterspells for rubies. We're 1-1 against Dimir this league. So that Lotus Bloom is kind of interesting, because if we If we just draw a lot more interaction, then we can maybe just keep countering, and then we go Belcher plus activate all in one go. Although I think I'm more likely to just like counter any. Let's just counter any card, and if my opponent can combo kill me despite having 3 of their early plays countered, we'll just lose. Their hand is 5 spells. My attitude on that might change depending on what we draw. I don't think Silundi Vision is changing my attitude. We're slamming and jamming. Did I open and close your Dono deck? Oh, I think I missed it, but we can get to it. Again, lot going on. Black Red Bomber. Okay, so this is playing Clockwork Percussionist and a kind of an evolution of like the Flare build going in on Shrapnel Blast instead of Goblin Grenade. I think that makes sense. Let me just belch my opponent real quick. We are now the best Storm deck in Modern. I guess not really a Storm deck. It's pretty divisive game. I will say Marionette Apprentice looks really nice. Does look like it's worth splashing for. I think overall, I think this list looks quite well thought out. I think that I would probably recommend playing 2 copies of Goblin Grenade over 2 copies of Goblin Bombardment, or at least like the first grenade over the second bombardment. I would also not recommend Gemstone Caverns. This deck has way too many 1-mana color spells, artifacts. I think you just really can't afford to have this card on the play. Nor do I think this is a great deck to imprint something either, because like you just mulligan so much. So I probably wouldn't do that. I don't think I would play a Surveillant, but it's kind of close. I would also not play a basic Swamp in this deck. I would definitely not play a basic Swamp. That's almost definitely wrong, even with the Blood Moons on the side. Okay, so yeah, I think that in these combo matchups, just boarding out the Selective Memories is going to continue to make sense for me. I think we're going to board in a couple Consigns also. I don't think I went Into the Flood Maw. But no, I like this a lot. I think, when I was going to build this deck with Percussionist after, this set came out, and I think you've convinced me to play Splash for Marionette Apprentice. I'll probably even just save this one and start working off of it when I go here. But yeah, I would not play Gemstones. I would not play the Swamp, and sideboard looks like pretty fine. Although actually, I would not play Blood Moon. I think you just can't really afford 3 drops in your deck. I'll try to play Damping Sphere. Although Damping Sphere is also a nightmare, so maybe not that one. But you need to figure out a different plan. I don't think you can reliably cast 3 mana spells in your 17 land deck. Not in this format, at least. Okay, nice pickup. Surveilling a Veil somewhere into the yard. So if they play a Ral, we'll pitch the Augur of Bolas instead of the Otter. Hopefully they just play a Ruby, though. Dude, Shoal is so nuts in this deck. I guess it makes sense. Every card in your deck is a blue spell. I think I'm taking Sync. I don't know. I might bounce around at some point. Yeah, I like this deck a lot. I think right now, if I was going to play a tournament, I would want to be actually. We do have the mocks coming up in, is it 2 weeks, week and a half. Right now, I may just want to like be grinding this off stream and like play this in that event. Seems like it just is kind of has a lot of game against everything and is like very good against energy and then like very good against other combo decks, which is then like that's kind of the whole meta game, right? Okay, I don't want to main phase bounce, but I think there's a good chance I could bounce in response to stuff. Maybe main phase bouncing was better. And Blue Black Frog. Yeah, I don't know. The Blue Black Frog matchup, like we stomped them the first time, second time we did get underneath them a little bit. It doesn't seem like it has a ton of weaknesses besides like Besage effects, which are not like the most common things in Modern. Wow, my opponent no plays after untapping with Rao. Other than Force, this deck is pretty cheap on Moto. I would imagine, yeah. I use a rental service. Gun Thor with a gun. Thank you for the $25. If that's for deck tech, you can post in chat. If it's just for Cancer, thank you so much. I guess either way, thank you so much. So they let the Rao get bounced to their hand. We untap, and then this should be coming down. Now we're gonna be 1 mana short of winning with a Goblin Charbelcher. Should be draw 1. Maybe my opponent has their own Consign. I'm going to go ahead and Preordain. So I'm going to keep this as another blue card to pitch to Force, although I guess I'm not going to Consign that often here. Can we change the goal to 5k in the top bar? I should automatically be doing that. I thought I set it up okay. I'm not sure. I don't think it's probably that confusing, is it? Okay, now let's see if we can resolve this Charbelcher underneath their counterspells, and then let's hope that I guess I could find another flare. And so I'm basically tapping out of Consign here and looks for like a flare or a shoal. I took a shoal, I think, yeah. I don't have enough cards to force pitch twice. Although, sorry, the shoal, I mean, I guess it's just looking for flare. But maybe keeping up Consign was better. How often do you cast and resolve Selective Memory? I mean, it's a big part of the deck, you know. Pretty often, I'd say. I think I'm going to go ahead and Force of Negation this. We lost to Dimir Frog. 1-1 against Dimir Frog this league. Postboard has the Blue Eye Frog matchup. Consign seems rough. So the matchup is a lot better pre-board. And yes, Consign is tough. You have a lot of offensive counterspells, though, which is certainly really nice. And overall, I think the matchup is just kind of like fine. This is deck Crumble to resolve Blood Moon. You have Belcher as a way to beat Resolve Blood Moon. You have Lotus Bloom, but Resolve Blood Moon is good against you, but you also have a lot of counter spells for it. Pact of Negation. Okay, I'm going to go use the restroom real quick while I put a combos off. Be right back. Nice. Let's go. I guess so they flame of ignored my Belcher, and then they died to their own pact. Okay, let's get a 4-1 prediction go. Let's see, but oh, Storm again. Well, if we get turn 2 and we don't draw a shoal, we're going to lose this game. That being said, we'll have a flare up on our turn 2. I don't know that I can change the goal. Incentive. I see incentives. I see rewards. Targets. Yeah, I don't think I can change the goal now that it's been set. Sorry about that. Should have done it higher. And are we getting turn 2'd? Should make a goal where Chat gets to pick the deck you play for an event like SCG or something. Well, I don't know. I think that there are some goals that are fun, and there are some goals that are I don't know, just kind of silly. Maybe. I think we did a good job with the goals today. Ritual, 2 cards in hand. Glimpse, 1 mana floating. Definitely possible for them to brick here. Yeah, but I think the list looks good. I would test Turtle cautiously keep testing the Turtle, and play Pyroclasms over the Bone Crusher and Bonfires. Other than that, looks pretty good. Yeah, it's like the process of like Chat picking the deck for the SCG is fun, and then it's like, oh no, now I have to go pay $1,000 for this trip and I scrub out because Chat memed on my on my deck selection, you know. right, Storm count is 6. They lost this flip. They have no mana floating, no land drop available. Oh, but they do have the 1 mana from the treasure token, so if their last card in hand is a castable spell, they could potentially win the flip with Ral, although only 4 instants of sorceries have been cast at the moment, so they wouldn't be able to ultimate immediately, but they could ultimate the next turn. So they are doing that. We're flipping a coin to determine the outcome of this game, probably, and we won the flip again. Gigantha will probably... Oh no, they're not playing a Gigantha. Nice. Did not get turn 2'd. Possibly could have got turn 1 if we were on the play here. They do get a couple spawns. They still have a Ral in play. But the thing is, we're just going to have Flare Up. We have Lotus Bloom coming off Suspend. So if we draw one more land, they're going to die pretty quick. So I'm going to go ahead and go Trainer. Looking mostly for untapped land here. Since... oh no, so I guess I need two lands. Shoal's kind of a weird one here. Seems pretty hard to say no to. But I do also need a land. I'll take a Shoal. Alright, take this down. Coming down next turn. Tap land. Seems very safe with my opponent having no cards in hand. Looking for untapped land here. We found it, so we have locked up here. Metamorphosis Fanatic is the card from the new set that obviously Legacy play. I don't think I've seen that one. We even it's like the one card that they could really do anything with here is Pass in Flames because it would get through the counterspell, but we just have a 4 to pitch to the Shoal, so we have this really locked in. Hayden with the $25, thank you. That's for deck tech you can post in chat. Yeah, I really like this deck too. Do you want to see a Pioneer deck or Commander deck I just donated? Sure. I didn't see the donation, but I'd be happy to take a look. Again, just like how we used to do deck techs, or I guess still do, like, I don't play a lot of Pioneer, I don't play a lot of Commander, so my insights in these formats is going to be a little bit diminished compared to Modern. Okay, well, we got double Flare Up. Not that they have any cards in their hand. I just noticed they said big fan. Okay, going to game 2. So we just played this matchup. Last time I boarded in 4 Force, 2 Consign, and I just cut the Selective Memory, the Jace, and the Oracle. The Belcher's a bit better at winning immediately, which is the more important thing. Raph with the raid, thank you so much. Welcome everybody from Raph's stream. Everybody give Raph a big hand for organizing this whole ACS charity marathon. Very, very cool. Hayden equals Mystical Tutor. Hayden equals Mystical Tutor. Oh, I see. For some reason, I thought there was a magic card campaign. So this is your donated deck tech. Narset, Enlightened Exile. Creatures have prowess. Never attacks exile target. Yeah, this is the... Yeah, unlike 6 mana Narset, it casts from the graveyard, and is 4 mana instead of 6 mana, and doesn't have hexproof. You should. I would probably play the 6 mana Narset in this deck too, maybe. Very interesting creature split here. Kind of surprised to see a Johnny in Commander, but what do I know? The Commander deck techs are kind of fun because I get to read cards for the first time ever. If we're going to keep this on the draw against Storm. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. That card seems great in your deck. Relentless Assault. 4 mana. Untap all creatures that attack this turn. May declare an additional attack this turn. Surely there are better extra turn effects. But this one is cooler because it's from the Portal sets. So I'll give you that one. Turn target creature face down. It's a 2/2 Cyberman artifact creature. Amazing. I don't know. I sometimes get an urge to play Commander. I used to play a lot of it. It has been a long time, though. Am I happy with the changes past version you played? I am so far, yeah. The shoals are really good. We're 496 away from 10K. Awesome. Hope we can hopefully we can get that here today. Yeah, I mean, I think the Johnny makes sense. Just kind of surprised to see it. Again, pretty out of my element. All right, let's go and let that resolve. I mean, it's not Rin's counterspelled. Thanks, Raph. Would I play 1v1 Commander? It's a new format on Moto. I mean, I wouldn't just never play it, but I don't know. It's like for me, I am just not that interested in necessarily stuff with like tournament, like just like the 1v1 queues. I'm a bit more interested in playing stuff that has like tournaments, like challenges and stuff. And I guess maybe the simple answer would be if Commander ever became like a popular tournament format, I would be inclined to give it a go. Okay, with second Augur in our hand, let's go ahead and take a second Flare. And then deck tech for Q-Tip, and also saw thank you, Mr. Sari, for the 25, and thank you, Q-Tip, for your donation also. Another red-green Valakut Shell. So I'm thinking that I've been thinking about this some. I don't know that I would main deck all of these relics. Goldfish. It's just Chrome in general too has been so laggy. I would play I think the fourth Red and 6. Like Red and 6 is also a good crime committer for Lookout, so I would probably play the 4 Ren 2 Relic, I imagine, and I would maybe also play 3 Pyroclasms 2 Bolts if you feel like there's just gonna be like a ton of energy at like your RCQ or whatever. But I've been thinking about this deck, and this is roughly how I would have built it. 4th Ren and 6, I think over the 3rd Relic. And I've been thinking I would play more Pyroclasms in the main, but maybe just 2 main, 2 side is fine. That's kind of roughly where I'm at. If you cut the 3rd Relic from the main, you probably want the last one in the side. I like this Force in the sideboard also. I don't think I'd play these Endurances. I think they're a little bit redundant. I think we'll let that go. I think a little redundant. Ad block would help. I have ad block on this way. I guess I have it muted for MTG Goldfish. I don't know. Chrome has just been so bad. I've just used Chrome for so long. I've got like all the settings I like, but it is just the quality has gone so down. I think I just need to switch to Firefox. Quite bluntly. All right, let's take another Silundi Vision and play this one, and then maybe cast like just hold up the mana next turn. Might win with Augur beatdowns. Wolf with the 22, thank you so much. And I might play a Boil for Jeskai if you feel like Jeskai is a problem. I'm not sure if it is. But yeah, I've been thinking about it too. That's like roughly where I'm at with the archetype, and I'm just not super sold or anything. Firefox can incorporate your save stuff in Chrome. That is a game changer for me, because that's been my hesitation, is like taking the time to import all my settings and stuff. All right, puts a card on top. Maybe are they just gonna wish to have it in the yard for passive flames later? Maybe. Where did I get the Demonic Tutor poster thingy? I got it from my local game store. So the glimpse is just, you know, triple entomb the top 3 cards, get a bunch of spawns. Not something I think I want to be fighting over here. We get our Lotus Bloom down. If we top deck our Goblin Charbelcher, we win the game. Otherwise, we are chilling with a ton of interaction up. Right. Seems unlikely that I will need to... I guess if they play a 2-drop, I'll actually just hardcast a Shoal, so we'll play that untapped. It is kind of funny how relevant, like, this beatdown plan is in a lot of matchups. We've won like a surprising amount of games this way. Jmar, the tier 1, think you'll come back. We just have infinite counter spells. Yeah, let's go ahead and just X equals 2. This deck looks really cool. That said, how often are you winning with memory, and what are the most common ways to set up without losing to disruption? I mean, it just kind of depends on like what the disruption is, but usually you'll just like put the Oracle and the Jace in your deck as the only two cards if you're worried about like a counterspell. If you feel like the game's going to go long, then you get to do more convoluted Doomsday piles. But for the most part, you're just putting Oracle and Jace, or just Oracle, or just Jace to play around Consign. Yep, I know the deck has been really good. You have just so many offensive counterspells between Shoal and Flare to like play through Counter Magic 2, which is really, really unique for a deck like this. And also because you get to play so many counterspells, you're really good against other combo decks. And because you're a turn 4 combo deck, or so sometimes a turn 4 combo deck, you get to be you're pretty good against energy. Like you have a bunch of blockers to buy time against energy too. It just doesn't seem like this deck has a ton of weaknesses at the moment. Probably has some. Probably has some. Like even the frog matchup hasn't seemed so bad though. Awesome Milk deck. Congratulations on that. Yeah, I have a longtime friend who has been battling cancer for like 10 years. She is quite the fighter. All right, they reveal a Ruby Medallion and a Rin's Resolve. Might have been okay to throw a Flare. We'll be countering the Ruby. Probably just Shoal X equals 2 again. What do you deck tech with the beastie green card that puts in permanents? I think so, yeah. There's a good chance that card is more of a pioneer card than a modern card. But it seems like you could try to build a deck that is using both that and Shifting Woodlands to put Omniscience / like Gristlebrand into play. But at the moment, I'm not like really convinced that card is going to be a good tool in modern. I posted about having a rough Charbelcher matchup on Boros, but everyone roasted me like they don't get how wild this list is. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, Boros just has bad combo matchups in general, so the fact that people are even like arguing that Boros is bad against combo is kind of funny. But I wouldn't really doubt that that's what it's like to post about a matchup spread on Reddit. But we are like, I think we're like 2-0 against Boros, and that was even with like the slightly worse build against the deck and the matchups. Oh no, sorry, I think we're 2-1. But I don't think the matchups like felt particularly close either time. All right, resolve into 2 more resolves. Just don't think you want to fight over these that often. Any thought on Bant Prayers in the meta? It's definitely a way better paper deck than a Magic Online deck. Something I've been feeling for a while. The Infinite Life combo is just like very real in paper against the energy deck. It just beats them. On Magic Online, it's like not even a thing. It's kind of night and day. Am I ever gonna cast Hydroelectric Specimen? Probably not. Just gonna play it tapped here, I think. Yeah, I think I'm okay. I was just Silundi Vision in a turn. They hit a Silence and a Ruby Medallion, though, so I'm going to have to counter both of these. Go ahead and hardcast the first Flare. So I don't know why they would cast Manamorphose before the Ruby Medallion. Like, and I don't know why they would play the Mire instead of the Gemstone Caverns. Like, these are leaving this turn. Oh, until your next turn. Oh, so this is this turn. And this one is next turn. Okay, sorry. Oh, this one still should have been played. Flashing back Strike It Rich. It's kind of interesting. Do I sack an Augur of Bolas to a Flare? Do I even counter this Ruby Medallion also? It's kind of weird because they just, at this point, they just have a ton of mana. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird to like pivot from just like not countering the impulses at all, but at this point, they just only have 3 cards in their hand. I have 2 counter spells. One of them is a force for a Past in Flames. They're on like kind of a fast clock with these augurs. Not the slowest, at least. Claw Carver, I don't know if I said thank you for the 20, but thank you for the 20. I don't even know if I've done your deck tech, but we'll get to it if I didn't do it. Maybe we're supposed to offspring this also. But I want to keep the bloom so that I could win if I draw a Belcher. And then there's a Belcher. I don't know. Could be better to take a Shoal. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take the Belcher. It seems Seems that I'm going to be probably pretty fine here. Okay, deck for Claw Carver. So this is a Amulet variant. So the thing is, it's like Vine Lasher just isn't good here, I think. Like the way that Mistaken has the Aftermath Analyst loop built, you don't need to like have Vine Lasher as your win condition. Like you can just have Dryad Valakut. I also noticed that you have no Valakuts with Dryad. That is a mistake. Oh, sorry, there's a Valakut. Wait, hold on. There's one over here. Okay. You probably should play more than one. You should probably play two. But at least one is fine. I'll also say no Amulet Titan's a mistake. Like, you just play Primeval Titan over Vine Lasher in your Amulet deck, and you're good to go. You need to play Shifting Woodlands to loop your Aftermath Analyst. That's, like, the whole thing, I think, with this card. I don't think this card is that interesting unless you can, like, turn your Woodland into an Analyst, activate Analyst, and then return the Woodland and, like, loop your whole deck. Oh. Well, okay. I guess I'll just pass the turn and then... Oh, also, one fun thing here is we can't suspend Lotus Bloom, because you can only suspend spells when you could cast a spell, and we can't cast it now because of silence. Kind of a fun little trick. But yeah, I honestly think if you just cut Vine Lasher for Titan, you would have a much better time. Also, like, one thing is, like, these are, like, not even very castable. I do certainly acknowledge that, yeah, I mean, I don't even need the Lotus Bloom mana, but I think I'll just pitch first. Matthew with the 60 months, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Here's to 5 more years. Let's go. But, like, you can't even cast the Vine Lasher. It's kind of nonsensical. I think Mistaken's build is just very good, and if you want to play Aftermath Analyst loops, you should just play Mistaken's build. Alright, GG from our opponent. I could Belcher them this turn, but the Augur beatdowns are just going to get there also. So nice 4-1. You know, maybe a bit more focused on the fundraising. This is exciting. Let's do one more with this deck. I think this deck is very hype. I think it feels very fresh. They did well at the European tournament. I think that this take on it with the flares is better overall. Just like these cards are just like the Augur and the Otter are so good at like consistently finding your land drops and your payoffs while also like allowing you to play more proactive 0 mana counterspells. Kind of incredible. We opened a Stonebrain, Primal Prayers. Not a lot, but let's go ahead and run it back for at least one more. Do you think there would be some advantage in dropping to the